Get the feeling of what state are you in right now? How is your body? As you soften your eyes, can you settle the gaze inward? Can you retreat away from the senses just a bit? The way you've looked at the world all day. See if you can let go of some of that strain and turn the gaze inward. And where have your eyes lingered today? Have you noticed something beautiful in your day today? Have you lingered on a beautiful face or a creative piece or something in nature? So let's just be thankful for our vision as we start to close it a bit and turn on the inner vision. So drop down into the breath. See if you can imagine that you have this spacious chamber, and it's not just your lung chamber, but your whole body, this container for prana. Let your inhale to get the feeling that it can fill you up way past your lungs, that you can even breathe not just through your nose, but through your skin as well. That you can draw this energy in to replenish and renew you. And you can let the breath go to feel like you can surrender, release what's no longer needed, and just be in the flow of the breath. Are you comfortable in your body right now? Is your posture in a place that's supported and supportive? Is your belly able to be free enough to receive? Let your diaphragm be received by your belly. Can you sense into the back of your body? Can you feel along the back edge of your diaphragm and notice if it's being received there as well? And we're just going to begin with a little bit of breath work. So take your right hand, and you can move positions if you want to stand up or change your seat. Take your right hand on your nostril, so thumb on your right nostril, ring finger on your left, and we're just going to do a little Nadi Shoshana. So very simply, just gently sealing off the right nostril as you inhale through the left. And then closing off the left and breathing out through the right. And breathing in through the right. Your pace is different than anybody else's pace. So the rhythm goes, you breathe out, you breathe in through the same nostril, and then you switch. And you breathe out, and you breathe in, and then you switch. Make sure when you compress onto your nostrils, you're compressing kind of high on the top edge of your nostril instead of pinching your nose at the bottom. Only move as deep into the septum as you need to stop the flow there. You don't want to have pressure. Try not to move your head around. See if you can lift your sternum, broaden your collarbones, and draw your chin slightly downward as you continue breath. Can you soften your eyes while you're doing this? Is there a place for ease in the body? If you notice one nostril is more congested than the other, be where you are. Of course, if you need to go blow your nose or something, do that. Or if you're very stuffed up and can't do this, just take some natural, normal breaths. See while you're breathing if you can get the feeling that the breath is swirling around the inside of your skull, kind of shining the inside of the skull brightly before leaving the other side or the same side. Just keep doing this for a few more moments. Breathing out, breathing in, switching. Out, in, and switch. The chest is broad. Collarbones are broad. The shoulders are relaxed. The breath is moving through your nose. And then the next time Your cycle naturally comes back to an exhale through your left. Just follow until you come to that exhale through the left. And once you have that state, just go ahead and rest. Enjoy the feeling of breathing through both sides of your nose. The sense of spaciousness in your skull and in your body. Notice if you're just a little bit more centered, a little bit calmer from the breath. And in this centered place, let's go ahead and bring our palms together and offer an intention. So hone something into your mind and body that is needed for you, for your highest good, for your greatest energy flow. How can you practice this presence in deeply restorative poses that calm us, center us, ground us, renew us? How can these forces support this intention? All right, and then let's go ahead and release the hands and come onto your back. Okay, so let's find our way onto your back. Hopefully you have lots of props. We're gonna need them. So make sure you have everything you need nearby. Okay, we're gonna come onto our back. All right, so as you both know, my favorite way of doing restorative poses is not to just start right away by laying down. That can be really nice, but I think it's important to kind of welcome yourself back into the body, especially if you've been in your head all day. So we're just going to do a little bit of gentle posing to open ourselves up. So stretch your arms, stretch your legs. Maybe this always makes me yawn. Doesn't matter what time of day it is. I yawn when I do this. And so just follow whatever impulses are happening in your body. Right side gets a little longer. Left side gets a little longer. Just feeling that sense of connection from your hand to your foot. And then release your arms out. Cactus your arms. And depending on your shoulders, maybe the backs of your hands can melt toward the floor, and just lift your shoulders up, drop the shoulder blades down the back for a moment, and see if you can just get the imprint of resting into chest opening. Take a deep breath here, inhale, and a deep breath out. See if you can cultivate that pranic flow, that the breath is moving through you throughout your practice. And then let's go ahead and release the hands. Bring your knees into your chest and give yourself a hug. And just check in. How's your low back feeling? How's your sacrum? How are your hips? And just rock side to side and enjoy this like the floor is giving you a massage. Check in with how the back side of your pelvis is feeling. Melt your body as best as you can. And then start to come to stillness. We're going to pull our knees away from each other, away from the midline and back in. Have a range of motion that's comfortable for your hip joints. So you could be doing some straight lines or circles, semicircles, whatever kind of is a natural movement for your hips. And just enjoy the gentle feeling of opening up the hip joints. All right, and then bring the knees back in. Now keep the knees together and circle a couple of times one direction. Don't forget about your breathing. Circle your knees a couple of times the other direction. And then right knee into the chest and the left leg is long on the floor. And decide, does your knee feel better kind of out to the side or closer in toward the midline? Where does your hip feel most comfortable? Extend the spine and start to move the feet around so you can kind of wiggle your toes, roll out through your ankles, find any kind of movement that feels really good for your feet. If you've had shoes on all day, just enjoy waking the feet up. And then bring that right knee straight onto the ground. Left knee comes into the chest. And decide where your hip feels most comfortable on this side. A little bit of compression close in or far out to the side. Wake up the feet again. Feel the extension through your spine. All right, and then stretch that leg. Open up to a starfish, arms and legs
are wide, far apart from each other. Exhale, knee to chest, chin up. Feel the curling in on yourself. A couple more times, moving in that deep expansiveness of navel radiation, and then calling the limbs back home to the center. One more time. Inhale to expand. Exhale to draw in. And release your head down. Put your feet on the floor. Feet are wide on the mat. And start to windshield wiper your knees. And let this be as full or as not full as is comfortable for your body. So perhaps when your knees go left, your right arm wants to stretch. You can even kind of roll over onto your side and let that side body open more. Perhaps you'd rather just kind of do less movement. So you just decide where you want to be in this pose, where you want to access opening, whether it's in the hips or the back or the belly or the shoulders. And then relax. Again, bring the knees into the chest. One more time to rock and grab your strap. Okay, so first 2 feet. And if you don't have a strap, you can always hold behind your legs. But if you have a scarf or a belt or a strap or something, go ahead and put your feet up in it. Let this not just be about kind of waking up the hamstrings, but let it wake up the length of the spine. Move your femur bones toward the wall, behind you where your sit bones are. Take your femur bones back. Feel the crown lengthen. Stretch the bottom of the feet. Flex the toes. Reach up through the balls of the toes. Then we're going to keep the left foot in the strap. Right foot can either be on the floor with knee bent, or right leg can come down onto the ground. Relax the shoulders as best as you can. Still feeling the long spine, the femur bone moving back without a hyperextension of the knee. Feel the rise through your foot. Feel the root through your hip. How is that full pranic flowing breath feeling now? Take the strap into the left hand. Open up the leg to the left. Now your right leg can be straight. Your right foot can be on the floor, and you can butterfly the right knee out. So just decide how your right side feels most stable in this posture. Extend through the spine. Feel free. You can lift your arm overhead if you want. You can keep it out to the side, whichever is feeling nice in your body. Enjoy the opening in your inner thigh, but stay grounded through the right side of the pelvis as best as you can. How's the pranic flow? And then inhale, lift that leg straight back up. We're going to take the strap to the right hand, cross the left leg over. Heel, the left hand can stick in that hip crease if you want to press it away. Just enjoy a little zing, opening up the IT band. You might even feel the sciatic nerve stretch a little bit here. Stretch through the ball of the big toe and the inner heel. Be very mindful in both knees to not push your knees back and hyperextend. Instead, extend the spine. How's your breath? All right, and then come back up. Bend your knee. Bring your knee back into your chest. Join the strap around both feet. Lift both legs up in the air again, extending the spine. Take the right foot in the strap, left foot's coming down now. So either the foot is on the floor with the knee bent or the leg is straight, you decide. Extend the spine. Keep moving the right hip away from the shoulder. Feel the reaching up through the foot and down through the hip. Notice where your knee is at. See if you can stretch through the belly of your hamstring and calf instead of just at the knee. Find the pranic flow of your breath in and out. Are your shoulders relaxed and peaceful and easy? Take the strap into the right hand. Open the leg out to the side. Feel a sense of weight come into the left femur bone. Stretch through the inner thigh of that right leg. So your left foot can be on the floor and your knee can fall out to the side. Whatever's going to give you that sense of balance across the pelvis. Feel that the stretch in the inner thigh is full in the belly of the muscle instead of at your sit bone and knee. Full breaths here. Let's go ahead and lift that leg straight back up. Take the strap into the opposite hand, cross the leg over. Right heel of the hand, or heel of the right hand is pressing the hip away. Stretch through the big toe and the inner heel. Feel the spine grow. Feel the breath grow. What can you enjoy about this? All right, and then we're going to bring that leg back. Go ahead and take the strap off. 2 knees come into the chest. Rock around a little bit. This is kind of big for early in the class, but let's find happy baby pose. So you get to decide how much compression you want in your hips. So maybe your feet are pushing up more, your knees are pressing down less, maybe you're pressing your knees down more. See what feels good. Feel free to rock a little bit, just letting the low back stretch a little bit. All right, and then take the soles of the feet together and just assess. We're going to do Supta Baddha Konasana more supported in a little while, but just allow the soles of the feet to come together, the knees to fall out to the sides, and just notice the breath. See if you can just be here for a couple of breaths, feeling that the diaphragm is free. The breath can travel into the pelvis, the chest is open and relaxed. All right, and then take the hands on the legs and use your hands to lift your knees back up. Put your feet, pull your feet straight on the floor. One more time, arms and legs stretching. Exhale, chin up. Put your left foot on the floor, put your right foot on your left knee. If you happen to be close to furniture, then you can put your foot up on something or a wall. Let's do reverse pigeon pose. And if you can do it so that your chest can be open with cactus arms on the floor or arms out to the sides, that's awesome. But if you're in the middle of the room and you don't have a piece of furniture to rest your left foot on, then grab on either behind your hamstring or on top of your shin, whichever is a good place for you to be. And then adjust. You can move around here a little bit. Make sure your pelvis feels even. And start to breathe. So whichever variation you find yourself in, can you notice that you still have a little subtle low back curve, that your sit bones are widening? The right foot on the left knee is active. Allow the right knee to move away from your shoulder, extending the spine, relaxing the shoulders, staying present with a full deep breath. Imagine yourself breathing through your whole being. That's not just your nose, but your skin. Imagine that your skin is actually doing the breathing. All right, and then let's unwind that. Straighten both your legs for a moment. Okay, just rest. Have your feet a little wider than your hips, and we're just going to rock toes toward each other and then away. Just wobble your femur bones, your calves, so everything from the hips down to the ankles are wobbling in and then wobbling out. Just letting there be some ease through the hip joints. All right, and then when we're ready, we're going to come to the second side. So now our right foot is coming onto our furniture or wall, and our left foot, or we're holding on, and our left foot is crossing over on top of our right knee, or just above the knee on the thigh. And then mess around, swivel, sway, get to the place where you're in your sweet spot of where you want to be, and then stretch through the big toe and the inner heel of that left foot. You can, if your arms are on the ground, you can always take your left hand on your knee and gently press it away from your torso. This will just change the stretch a little bit. You can also be way less active than that and just concentrate on the passivity of your chest opening. If you're holding onto the leg, make sure your neck is supported and you're not, pulling your neck up. Shoulders are relaxed and soft. Chronic skin breathing. Feel your nostrils, see if they're both open again. Let's go ahead and release our feet down to the ground. Our legs are going to come straight on the floor. And let's have one more time where we just wobble our legs. We're going to do a very simple twist that we often do toward the end of class. Pick up your feet, put them down close by to your sit bones, lift your hips up, scooch them to the right. You're going to bring your knees toward the chest and drop them left. Focus on the chest opening here. See what it feels like to relax and breathe. Feel a sense of spaciousness across your sternum. Deep inhales and deep exhales. Where's the twist naturally happening in your body? Can you feel? And then inhale and pick the legs up. Come back to a neutral spine. Feel that for a breath. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then as you're ready, let's go to the other side. So hips scooting left, knees up, drop them right. Find your breath. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Find the chest broadening and opening. Notice if each exhale you have just a little bit more spaciousness that can come. And then as you're ready, go ahead and pick up the knees and find your way back onto your back. Rock a little bit here. And just notice, restorative practices are slow and steady. Are you able to kind of get into the juice of your body a little bit? Do you feel good? Do you feel present? Are you able to care for yourself well in these kinds of practices? Let's roll over onto our side and come up onto our hands and our knees. And so find your way through some cat-cows, arching and rounding the spine. Take your time to move through your spine. So notice each vertebrae. Notice if you want to go quickly or slowly. Notice if there's any places where you want to linger and breathe. Relax your body. Relax your eyes. Feel a sense of softness come into your jaw. And then feel free to move it around any way you want to move it. So if you want to swivel through your hips, sway from side to side, just find what's going to feel good. So remember, the whole theory of restorative practices is to be gentle. So nothing has to be vigorous right now. It's all easy and smooth, finding the breath through your movements as best as you can. Drop down into child's pose. Notice how your back feels. Stretch through your shoulders if you're comfortable. If you need to have your arms down at your sides, that's fine too. Relax your forehead and let the skin on your face melt toward the floor. So there's tension releasing. Inhale and walk the hands over to the left. Open the rib cage, drop the pelvis down, and melt the base of the skull. Softness everywhere you can find. Depth into the breath. Feel the ribs open. All right, let's come back to center. Walk your hands over to the other side, lengthening through that left side of the body as you walk right. Drop weight down into the pelvis. Feel your neck relax. Deep breaths in and away. And then come back to center. Come up onto all fours. Let's find another round of a cat-cow or maybe some swirls through your hips, your ribs. And let's find a twist. Inhale, lift your right arm up. Exhale and slide that shoulder down. Gaze toward the floor. Let the softness come into the base of the skull again. Deep body breath as much as you can. Melt the face. All right, now from here, turn toward the floor. Keep the arm underneath you and stretch back towards child's pose. So you get an outer stretch through your shoulder. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And then come back up onto all fours. Bring that right arm in front of you. Change sides. Left arm lifting. Exhale, slide that shoulder down. Let that gaze be toward the floor so the base of the skull can soften. Keep the breath moving. Allow the femur bones to drop back. Feel how the breath feels in the back of your body. So the band of your diaphragm that we were working with before, can you feel it melt and open? And then settle back towards child's pose. Turn the torso toward the floor. The arm stays underneath you. There's a broadening across your collarbones, stretching through the outside edge of your shoulder, the back edge of your rotator cuff, getting some opening. Relax the base of the skull. How's your breath now? All right, and then let's come out of there. Bring the left hand back onto the floor. The only vigorous pose we'll do in the whole restorative class. So here we go, dog pose. Get yourself up there. Spread out your feet. Feel the openness through the palms, the soles of the feet. Bounce around, sway, pedal, whatever feels good. Feel the full body pose. Femur bones are lifting up and back. The extension from your heart to your pelvis is long and spacious. Relax your eyes. Melt the tension in your face. Your jaw is smooth. Your tongue is soft. Your eyes are melting. Find that full breath in and even fuller breath out. Long and steady on the exhales. And then walk your feet forward. Come into Uttanasana. Bend your knees as much as you want. Bobble around your head. Feel free to wag your tail, sway, anything that feels good. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and relax. Climb up, arms to the sky. Deep breath, let's cactus open. Prepare for a couple back bends that we're going to do. And then relax. Palms at your heart. Pause here for a moment. Notice what it feels like to be standing. Take a deep breath in, deep breath away. Yield into the earth. Feel that difference between sinking and propping. Find your breath living all the way down to the soles of your feet, like you have diaphragms in the soles of your feet. Inhale, lift your arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale and fold forward. Step your left foot back. Come into a lunge. Put your knee down onto the ground. Just opening up the hip flexors a little bit. Chest gets broad. And then back onto all fours, child's pose. Come the other way. Bring your left foot forward. Right knee is down onto the ground. Chest lifts. Find the breath. All right, and then come back onto all fours. Come all the way down to the ground. Lay on your belly. Put your hands underneath your forehead and just notice the breath in the back of your body. Where do you feel the breath originate in your spine? Can you feel that you expand out from that spot to the tail and to the crown? Feel it come back home. Big expansiveness in the back body. Okay, let's do a very gentle back bend here. Prepare for where we're going a little bit. The forearms stay on the ground. Turn your hands out or your forearms out just a little bit. Extend through the spine. Stretch your legs, opening the chest. And then exhale and melting back down. Pick up your feet. Rock your knees left and right. And then release. Let's go on into child's pose. Maybe you want to have a little pit stop for a cat-cow. Find your breath. If you want to have your arms overhead, great. If you want to bring them down at your sides, that's great too. Deep breath in and away. All right, let's come up onto our shins. Interlace your hands behind your back. Open across your chest. Squeeze the shoulder blades toward each other. Feel the spine grow in length, not just hunkering down. And then relax. Go ahead and cactus open your arms here and feel the chest expand. Hug the shoulder blades toward each other. And then relax your arms down. Take your palms up. First, we're going to bring our palms toward each other, and then we're going to spin them out. So you're having like platters in your hands. Imagine that you're serving someone behind you on your platters. So a little bit of work in the rotator cuffs as you bring your hands back and forth.
Okay, and then go ahead and relax that. I don't know if you guys have blocks, but if you do, we're going to do heart bench first. So one block in between our shoulder blades, and you can have the block like this long ways or crossways. If you only have one block, use the block underneath your back and put blankets or pillows underneath your head. If you have two blocks, the one underneath your head is one step higher than the one underneath your back. We're going to take the block however is most comfortable, so you adjust higher or lower, and the base of the skull is relaxing on the slightly higher block, or stack up some blankets and pillows. Now before we come into a full rest here, stretch your shoulders. So that can mean different things. You can stretch your arms straight out to the sides. You can even flex, move your wrists around, just get that stretch all the way down to the hands. Perhaps you want to cactus the arms. Perhaps you want to interlace your elbows, grab on, and stretch your arms overhead. So experiment with some different places for your arms to be there where your shoulders feel comfortable and healthy, and your chest is able to have a little bit more expansiveness. So we're going to rest here in just a moment, but just have a little bit of activity before we rest, so you just enjoy opening into a back bend. And once you've found your sweet spot, melt where you want to melt. So where do you want your arms to be? Where, what kind of angles do you want in your elbows? Set yourself up. There's no rights or wrongs. Same with the legs. Do you want your legs wide apart? Do you want them close? Do you want your knees bent or your legs straight? Do you want to knock your knees or butterfly your knees open like Supta Baddha Konasana? So there's many choices of how to situate yourself in heart bench. So find what's gentle and easy for you. Take some full breaths here. So even though we're not doing the alternate nostril breathing anymore, can you still get that feeling that the breath is traveling through some narrowed passageways, traveling up around your skull, that skull shining breath, just a little hint of it. Feel the broadness of your chest as you inhale, the ribs expanding, the freedom of your ribs expanding. Feel the melting on your exhales, all the way out. Try not to hold the breath. We don't want to hoard that last bit. Just see if you can have a complete full exhale. How can you melt a little bit more? Keep trying to sink deeper and deeper into this posture. Your body melt layer after layer. So as we're ready to find our way out of here, first just change your arms, maybe bring them across your chest.
Find your breath, and then if you're comfortable rolling over onto your side, roll over onto your side. Bring your knees toward your chest and rest here for a moment. Deep breath in, deep breath away. Resist the urge for a deep forward fold just yet. Just be on your side. So the next restorative back bend we're going to do is a supported bridge pose. So you can take your block or blankets, whatever you have. Soles of the feet are coming onto the ground, and we're going to lift our pelvis up onto either the low or middle height of the block. So you get to decide, depending on your height, if you want to have legs straight. This is not as gentle to have your legs straight. Or if you want to have your knees bent and your feet on the floor. So think, you can stretch your legs for a couple of breaths if you want, and then come into a more nurturing aspect here. But this pose is so good for allowing the sacrum to kind of set itself. So if you're having any back pain at all, this is a wonderful pose usually to do. So let's just take a moment to find your way. Where do you want your arms to be? So do you want your arms to be out to the side or cactus or down closer to your legs? Are your shoulders in a happy place where you feel open and expansive, not collapsed through your chest, but you're also not straining into a back bend? Are you comfortable? Can you follow the breath? Melt your face. Melt the base of the skull. Make way for the breath. Make room. So as you inhale, what do you feel? Where is the breath moving? As you exhale, what do you feel? Where is the breath moving? And now as you're ready to maybe think about creating some change, you can stay right here and continue in this restorative pose. Perhaps you want to start preparing for where we're going next, in which case you can adjust the block, bring the knees up toward the chest, have a little traction in the spine, kind of allow yourself to reverse the flow of the back bend, so knees are toward the chest. And we're going to bring the legs. We're going to go to the wall in just a moment for leg up the wall pose, but just start to feel what it would feel like with your legs in the air. So straighten the legs up, feel the weight come down into the heads of the femur bones. Notice your breath, feel the draining, the lightness that comes into the feet and the calves, shins. And then bring the knees back into the chest. Give yourself a little traction. And then we're going to push that block out of there and come onto our back. Feel free to windshield wiper your knees or take a little twist to help you recover from the back bends. So even though all these poses are restorative poses, they're still active. You're still moving the spine, so you need a little replenishment. And then as you're ready, we're going to find a wall and come into leg up the wall pose, Viparita Karani. So if you don't have a wall, it's no problem. Maybe you have a chair. Okay. So you can be flat on your back. You can be with your pelvis up on the edge of a blanket. You can be on a bolster. You can have a blanket under your head, whatever props you need for comfort. So if you don't have a wall to stick your legs up straight, you can always come onto a couch or a chair and have kind of like half leg up the wall pose, where our calves are up on something and our pelvis is on the floor. So you can decide something like this, or a more traditional Viparita Karani, where you take either your body on the floor flat or a little support underneath you and come with your legs up the wall. If you're choosing a wall, remember that all the variations are available to you. So you can have your legs straight up in the air. I'm going to bump into furniture, but you can have, if you have the room, you can take your legs wide apart. You can take the soles of the feet together. You can crisscross your legs. So you can even put your feet on the wall. Okay, so whatever is feeling best to you, make sure that you have the room that you need and the support that you need. And leg up the wall pose is so good. If you've been on your feet for a while, see what it feels like to go inside and touch base with what it feels like to have the waterfall of your lymph and your blood flowing back toward the heart. So soothing for the lymphatic system and the cardiovascular system. So soothing for the low back, usually, for most people. How's your breath here? Are your shoulders able to relax? Is your neck soft? Deep inhale. Long exhale. So whatever variations you're doing, let's spend the last little bit of time with your legs straight up. So if you're not already here, just bring your legs straight. Take a few deep, full breaths here. And then we're going to come over onto our side. Find your way out of this pose. And this is where you might need to get creative with your props in your house. So Supta Baddha Konasana with support. So I have props, so it's easy for me to get into this, but couch pillows are so good for that firm support that you want underneath. If you have a bolster, then you can set up like I am with a block, so that you have a ramp. And then there's lots of things you can do with your arms and your legs. You can have one blanket or pillow underneath each knee. Both of you have
been in class with me before where, we've had this spread out tube where you roll a big long snake. So you can do that if you want and take the soles of the feet together with the blanket over top and then tucked under. You can have support for underneath your forearms. You can get, there's all sorts of pillows and props and things that you can do. Another blanket underneath your head, so your head's just a little higher, it can feel nice. There's all sorts of choices. So play around with what you have in your house to help you. And once you get settled into this pose, allow yourself to rest here. See what's holding you back from being able to deeply open the pelvis, the belly, the diaphragm, the chest, the throat, all these, vulnerable places in our torso. Allow the breath to find its way. Let the shoulders melt so the chest, the heart is the leader. Let the knees fall out. Just surrender. Let yourself be fully open and available. Deep breath in and even longer exhale. Stay present with the breath as best as you can. on how you are feeling. If you're really happy and nothing, stay for a little while. If your body is starting to talk to you, then you can start to come out whenever your body says it's time. If you do Supta Baddha Konasana well, in the sense of propping yourself, it should not feel like too intensive a pose. There shouldn't be a whole lot of deep stretching going on or deep back bending going on. It should feel very nourishing to the body, like you could stay for a really long time. All right, let's go ahead. You can always ignore me and just stay put. But if you're ready to come out, we're going to find a twist on our back before we come into Shavasana. So let's move some of your props out of the way. Keep them handy because we'll need them for Shavasana. Come lie down on our back. All right. And just take a moment to bring the knees into the chest and rock. Simple twist. Feet down onto the ground, arms out to the sides. Lift the hips, move them right. Knees up, drop them left. Take a deep breath. And then pick up the knees. Scooch them over, the hips over the other way. Knees come up and drop right. Deep breath. Full exhale. All right. Bring the knees back up. Now when we prepare, so feel free to bring the knees and rock a little bit and take any other pose you need. When you prepare for Shavasana, you can go back to putting your legs up on the couch. You can be flat on the ground with no support. You can take blocks and a bolster and make a high support for underneath your legs, or you could have just a little bit of a blanket. So you just find whatever is going to be best in your body that you feel most nourished and comfortable by. All right. Doesn't matter what you usually do. Try to find something that you want to do right now. It's going to make your body feel just perfect. So as you settle your body down into Shavasana, take some time to kind of harvest the energy of your practice, this deeply restorative practice of quiet, stillness, embodiment, breath. Harvest all of that. Come back into that feeling that your skin is doing the breathing, that you are the breath, you are the energy flow. The limbs of your body can settle and be heavy. The torso is heavy, spine resting. The belly is soft and free. The eyes are gentle. The lids are just soft curtains. The tongue is released. Even the teeth and the palates are soft. The base of the skull and the inner ears melting. The brain itself dropping back. releasing with gravity. Slowly begin to deepen your breathing again. Relax everywhere. As you're ready, find a bit of movement to return to the embodiment of this moment. Maybe even a big, vigorous stretch might feel good. Wake yourself up a bit. Maybe you're staying in your melty self and just curling over onto your side. So whatever feels good, take your time. Come up to sit as you're ready. Nice and slow, eyes closed. And once you get upright again, take a moment for the skull shining breath, 2 nostrils, not just one, but feel that the prana can flow through your brain, filling the lungs, emptying yourself out. Let's place the palms together at the heart and bow in. So offer this restful, peaceful energy that you've cultivated. Share it, let it be a healing balm, like a blanket that you can lay over somebody or many people that you love and care for. Namaste. Thank you.